The Niners go as far as CMC takes them, and if he's healthy, they're close to an as elite team as there is in the league. If he's not, then they're. I don't want to dump on Brock Purdy, but the struggle was there, and you saw it.
Yeah.
So basically, the Niners will go as far as CMC takes them, and I think that's a fair assessment. Their window is just, in my opinion, is just about closed. Like they're older, they still got a decent defense. Fred Warner and some guys. They still perform at a high level, but this isn't the Niners of 2 or 3 years ago where they were in it every year, and we were like, okay, that one of these Super Bowls they've got to win. Like they've got to pull it out. I think at this point, maybe it's good that they're not talked about in that elite of the NFC. Maybe that's going to help them.
Although maybe to play a little devil's advocate here, or to make Niners fans feel like the glass is still half full, given the status of the rest of this division, with Seattle kind of being in a little bit of flux right now, the Rams having age issues, the Cardinals being the consistent question mark that they are, if CMC does get hurt again, is there kind of enough to keep them at least competitive with the rest of the division, given where the rest of the division stands? Or is it that much of a death blow with CMC's injury risks?
No, I still think they can be competitive, but it's going to be a lot closer than they want it to be. Mm-hmm. Like with the Rams, their issue is Stafford. If he can stay healthy, then they're the team to beat. The other two teams are in flux, so they're trying to stay relevant at this point. So the Niners, it's health. They're battling the health bug. Stafford can make it a whole season. I really don't. He's taking epidurals in the back. It's one thing when you're doing 11-on-11s in training camp. It's you're not taking hits. So I think the first couple games you're going to see what becomes of the Rams, but the Niners, they need CMC to be healthy. That's just what it is.
Side note here, because you brought up Purdy's struggles last season, they still gave him the money. So does that contract look worse than Dak's? Especially considering the amount of money that the Niners have paid out. I don't know how they're not in salary cap hell at this point, because they've given out a lot of big money contracts, but they still gave Brock his money.
Well, let's be honest. Brock came up at the right time. If it was a year or two ago, Brock wouldn't have sniffed that type of money.